You know, it's not just frustrating after you break up with someone that you know is wrong for you, but it's frustrating because it's almost useless. You're trying to rationalize everything when you can't really do anything about it. It's almost trying to organize reality after the fact, when it's almost pointless. After a breakup, I find it absolutely fascinating to analyze relationships and what happened, piecing the puzzle together. And this is the important bit, in relation to yourself and the thing you went through. I feel like it used to be done much more previously, back in the good old days, where elders used to mentor the young through experience and through conversation amongst men, talking about what's common in all relationships. There seems to be a pattern here. What can I learn going forward so that my decisions are better in a relationship or without one? Post-breakup, a lot of guys drive themselves nuts trying to make sense of everything. It's like some sort of puzzle with missing pieces, and they need to put it together in order to clarify and make sense of the whole picture. But they don't burn the picture into their psyche exactly because it affected them so much, it hurt them so much, it scarred them so much. They see the next pretty thing in a short skirt and all of a sudden they have amnesia. Most of today's manosphere resembles PUA gym bro rhetoric, where they're just describing the furniture. The male space seems to resemble a locker room. Be tough, be macho, make money, go to the gym. Be so alpha that no woman will be able to resist you. Be so alpha that you're so far away from the common man that no woman will give you a problem. It seems like guys are talking as though they're gods, like they're up on stage in some theatrical performance of how they wish to act like men, rather than self-reflecting on who they actually are as a person who happens to be a man. After they're free from a bad relationship, they feel powerful, there's a lot of bravado, there's a lot of shouting from the mountaintop. But then when they calm down and sleepwalk back into their normal lives again, most guys just repeat the reflexes, especially with women, that got them into heartbreak in the first place. Like, I see many men trying to make sense algorithmically and mathematically, trying to make sense of relationships when they're free from them, and not wanting to admit that when they're in front of someone they really like on a date, that mathematical, rational side just goes out the window. I think one thing in the manosphere that a lot of guys in all their bravado don't want to admit and don't want to face and don't want to work on is their emotions. Because that's the reason you go on a date with somebody. That's the reason you like a woman. If you can't at least try to exercise your prefrontal, your logical side, often enough that you practice it in your life, that you open your mouth and say your yeses and your nos in front of women, be able to confidently know and speak your values to everybody, then there's more chance of doing it on a date with Pumpkin. As far as I can see, most men are relationship tourists these days. The only information they feel like sharing is what happened, like sharing snapshots of here's the Eiffel Tower. There's no personal reflection on what happened during the breakup. And I feel like one of the reasons why I get the impression that so many men feel even more lost than days gone by is the discussion of men and women today is very depersonalized. We're describing the structure, we're describing things, but we're not reflecting on it as human beings, and more importantly, from the personal aspect of you, in relation to you. So I just feel like it's very depersonalized, especially with guys. We think that being very emotionless and trying to calculate it like a mathematical equation will lead to some universal answer, and I don't think it will. I don't think it ever has. We seem to increasingly have more and more gym bro style alpha PUA content out there, trying to see who can game women, who can game the system, so they can be victorious. To tell you the truth, I don't know what they're trying to win. I know a lot of guys, they say it's easier not to have relationships and it's safer because once you get with a woman, game over, she has you. And this really, to me, speaks with a man not trusting himself, not being able to to say no to a woman. As soon as she's got her hooks into him emotionally and he likes her, he cannot speak his own words anymore. He has to subdue everything. He can only speak them in private or to his friends, but never to her. I think that's where the shame and giving up on life comes from with a lot of guys, that they regrettably made a decision emotionally, high and drunk on love or emotion, unable to defer their gratification and not sit still for 1 minute and assess the situation. Getting back to the point, this post-breakup analysis I find really interesting, and I find that the self-reflection as a man in terms of what you've learned, not necessarily in relation to women, but what you've learned as a guy about who you were and who you are, and more importantly, wish to be going forward. That discussion is sorely missing. But I had an interesting conversation with my friend Karu recently about post-breakup analysis. I thought that was quite an interesting topic, and as I said, I'll put a link down below to the conversation I had on a newly created channel I made for all my longer conversation videos, just to separate them from my normal shorter content here on this channel. I've made a separate longer video style channel. As I said, link below. You can also get to it via the top right hand corner of my banner and in my about section of my YouTube channel. As always, if you like my videos, hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe and the bell if you already haven't subscribed, and please subscribe to my other longer chat channel. Share my videos around on your social media, that helps too. Comment down below, keep the conversation going, guys. And if you feel like donating, there are links down below. I'll talk to you very soon, guys. Bye.